Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and to another video. Today's video is going to be all about my meal prep and how I prepare my food ahead of time. I just wanted to do a sit down intro for this video. I really wanted to thank you guys for 100 subscribers here on YouTube. I hit my first 100 I think 2 days ago. I just wanted to sit down and thank you guys for subscribing to my channel, for watching my videos, giving it a like, all of that. I really do appreciate you guys, and I really do thank you for 100 subscribers. I still can't believe that I finally got my first 100s. But anyways, back to the video that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So just really quickly, I wanted to explain just a few things. For my meal prep, I like to prepare breakfast and dinner. For me personally, I just struggle with having time to like cook dinner and having like energy and time in the morning to make breakfast for myself. If you're new here, my name is Alyssa and I have a 1-year-old. So having breakfast ready is really convenient for me. Having it prepped and ready to go is just really convenient for me, and I find that it saves me a lot of time, and yeah, it works out for me that way. And for dinner time, it kind of goes into like the same thing. Sometimes whenever I cook him dinner, or if I'm just, feeling tired or something, I don't really have the energy to cook myself dinner. So having dinner already prepared really works out for me. And also too, like once he has dinner, he has his bath, and then it's time to wind down for the evening and start our bedtime routine. So just having food ready to go is really convenient for me, and I do prefer to have breakfast and dinner prepared. Lunch is pretty much different every day, and it's pretty much my like post-workout meal. So sometimes I have different things, and usually I just do something quick. I do find myself having time to do lunch because sometimes my son is still sleeping, so I have time to do that. It's just breakfast and dinner that I struggle with. So that's what I wanted to explain really quickly. So in case you're wondering why I'm only preparing breakfast and dinner, that is why. So without further ado, if you want to know how I meal prep, just go ahead and keep on watching. Okay guys, so the first meal that I'm going to be making is breakfast, and lately I have been really enjoying pancakes, and these are actually keto pancakes, so I'm using almond flour. I'll make sure that I add the exact measurements of everything down below, but here I'm adding some eggs. Now this time when I made them, I did them the wrong way. You're actually supposed to put the wet ingredients at the bottom of the blender, not the flour. So if you decide to make these, just do it the opposite way. And I'm just adding all of the ingredients into a blender so I can blend it up pretty easily. And now I'm adding some cinnamon, and then I'm going to be adding some vanilla extract. And also this recipe calls for cream cheese, so that's another reason why you should put the wet ingredients on the bottom. But anyways, you'll see me here switch it to a different blender because yeah, it's not going to blend right if you put the flour first. So just make sure that you don't do it that way. You are the one I need. I want to say that you are the one who's making me breathe. I hope that you can stay here. Yeah, you can stay the night. I hope that you can stay with me. And here I'm just blending it up on like a low setting, just enough so everything is blended pretty good. And I'm actually going to give it a mix just to make sure that it's all mixed up good together. And I'm going to be transferring the batter into a measuring cup. Now you want to let these sit for about 10 minutes or so. You just want to leave the batter alone and let it rest for 10 minutes before you actually start cooking them. Here I'm just adding some butter to the pan. I'm adding some batter to a pan, and I'm going to be doing about medium-sized pancakes, small to medium I'd say, because I actually give these to my son and he really enjoys them. Now I'm going to start prepping the food that I'm making, and I'm just chopping up some onions and putting them into a bowl. I'm just transferring the cooked pancakes onto a plate. Here I am chopping up some bell pepper, and I'm just using a yellow bell pepper. You can use whichever one you prefer, but that's going to go in our food. I'm actually going to make chicken stir fry. Here is what the pancakes look like when they're finished. Next, I am just cutting up some chicken, and I'm just cutting these in half so I can get 4 portions instead of 2, and I'm going to be chopping these into cube sizes. So basically I'm making chicken stir fry, well, my own chicken stir fry. I have been eating this in a couple of different ways, but in this recipe I'm going to be using some chicken, a bell pepper, and some frozen vegetables. I don't always use frozen vegetables, but sometimes when you're in a rush, you know, it's a good alternative. But here I'm just sauteing some onions. I'm gonna let those get a little bit brown before I add in the chicken. And once that's done, you want to add in your chicken and add in whatever seasoning you want to. I personally use a little bit of salt and pepper, Mrs. Dash seasoning, and some oregano. Those are pretty much like my staple spices, but you can use whichever one you prefer. But if you are trying to watch what you eat and what you intake, I would recommend maybe using a salt-free seasoning. Here I'm just adding the bell pepper, and I add the bell pepper once the chicken is about halfway cooked. And here I'm just adding a little bit of lemon. That's optional, but I personally love lemon in everything, so that's why I add lemon. And here I'm just adding a little bit of stir fry sauce. And here I'm just adding a little bit of sesame oil. And I went ahead and started making a pot of rice, and I'm adding a little bit of that same butter to the rice. I like to have a pot of rice. It goes with pretty much all of my meals. Here I'm chopping up some celery for celery sticks, and I like to have this with hummus. This is a great snack. I actually really enjoy celery sticks with hummus. I didn't at first, but now I really enjoy them. Here I am cutting up some cucumber as well. Now the cucumber, I don't always eat them with hummus. Sometimes I add them to salads and things like that, so those are pretty good to have ready and prepared, but they only last, I would say, about 2 days in the fridge, so you just want to make sure that you cut up enough for those days. And here I'm just pre-cutting some strawberries and prepping some portions for my pancakes. And like I said, I only did about 3 portions because once you start cutting the fruit and the vegetables up, you know, they start to go bad. But here is the fun part. I am putting all of my food into containers.
Life was dull until you came. I was breathless when we first met. Couldn't keep my hands away. I was speechless when we first met. Yeah, you took the pain away. Didn't mind my scars, then my broken heart.
Here I'm just adding the rice to all of the containers, and I'm just adding, I would say, about a spoonful. I don't measure my food or like weigh my food, but I'm just not overdoing it with the rice. Here I'm just going to be transferring my pancakes into a container, and then at the last minute I actually decided to put the pancakes with the fruit already ready to go. That way I don't have to look for the pancakes in the fridge or anything like that. So normally I just usually put it in a container, but here I'm adding it with the pre-portioned fruit, so that's a great way to save some time in the morning. All I have to do is just put them in the toaster and they're ready to go. I should have used a slightly bigger container for these because I was trying to avoid smushing the fruit, but it was not smushed, so I just had a hard time getting the lid on. But I would recommend using a slightly bigger container. And here I'm just adding all of the lids to all of the other food. and this is pretty much my food for the week. Okay, so now I'm just cutting up some more strawberries. I'm going to be preparing my smoothie portions ahead of time. That way I don't have to go looking for the fruit and everything. So I like to have protein smoothies with a few strawberries, a banana, and a few blueberries. And I use it with my vanilla protein powder. So I pretty much have these almost every day after I work out. So I just want to have everything prepared. So all I have to do is just throw it in a blender and it's ready to go. Now I do use these in plastic bags, but don't worry, I don't throw away these bags right away. I actually use them twice or 3 times. Sometimes if they're a little bit dirty, I can't use them, but don't worry, I recycle them. But I like to reuse the bags to kind of cut down on the plastic waste.
Looking back at the good times before it all went down, climbed right up on the hillside, a different view of my life. You left me running on and on.
Okay, so once I'm done prepping those, I just go ahead and close up the bags and put them in the freezer. Yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up down below and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.